Brooklyn, and I'm going to be talking about being considering and caring. The bell at Petal Elementary School rang through the halls. The flower friends jumped out from their desk. It was time to go to the art room, one of their favorite places in school. Zinni was especially excited because she loved to draw and paint. She was already thinking about a new picture she wanted to make. It would show all of her flower friends having a party at the Daisy flower garden. She burst into the art room ahead of everybody else. She was the first one there. "I'm in luck," she said, grabbing several bottles of paint. She put them in front of an easel with a blank piece of paper on it. "I can get all those colors. I want to make my painting." The other flower friends came into the room. "Oh, look, there's a new coloring book cover," she said. She picked up 3 of them. Gloria and Jerry each took 2 more. They put the coloring book on a table by the window and sat down. Rosie rushed over to the cupboard that held crayons and markers. She grabbed a bin and took it to the table by the door. Vi and Luke did the same thing. Then the 2 groups of flower friends started at each other. "Wait a second," Clover said. "We need crayons and markers to color our coloring books." "Well, we need coloring books to use our crayons," Rosie said. Zinni looked at her friends. None of them were happy. Then she saw a goldfinch standing shyly by another easel that had painting of a tree on it. The painting wasn't quite finished. Only half of the leaves had been painted. Zinni glanced down at the bottle of the paint in front of her. "Oh, I'm sorry," she said. "The goldfinch. I was so excited about my picture that I took all the paint. That wasn't very considerate of me. We should share. What colors do you want?" "Thank you," the goldfinch said with a big smile. "I'd like the bottle of green paint to add more leaves to my trees, please." Clover and Rosie watched the goldfinch begin painting happily. Zinni's right," Clover said. "Sharing is a way of caring for your friends." She turned to Rosie. "Rosie, why don't you take one of these coloring books?" Jerry and Gloria smiled as they held out their stack of coloring books to Vi and Luke. "Yes, pick one if you like," Jerry said. Gloria nodded. "After all," she said, "we can only color one picture at a time." "Thanks, Clover," Rosie said. "Do you want to use some of the crayons and markers? When you're done, we can trade." "That's a great idea," Vi and Luke said together. All the flower friends sat down to color. "It's so much nicer when we can all paint and color together," Zinni said. "And when we're done, we have a beautiful art gallery to show our friends and families." Okay, now I've read the story. What are some ways that you can be considerate and caring? Here are some questions you can ask to your family. Ask them if you need help around the house and things like that. When myself and Girl Scout friends are trying to find ways to be considerate and caring, we find ways and then vote. Earlier this year, we made lunches for the homeless and provided donated cookies with the lunches. You can give back by making lunches, donating clothes, and making inspirational cards. Okay, step 2. Now I shared with you what my troop has done now. I want you to make a picture of what your troop can do to help the homeless. Then, step 3. Imagine that you have 4 apples and split them up evenly amongst your family. Now draw a picture of how you are going to split up the apples. Here is a picture that I made. So I had 8 people in my family. And I have 4 apples. I split them up into 2s, and when I split them up, I have 8 apple slices in total. Now everybody can get 1 slice of an apple. And that's a way of being considerate and caring. It is important to give back because it helps people and makes you a better person. And that's ways you can be considerate and caring. Thank you and good luck for getting your Zinni band.